This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 20th day of May in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Facing a mountain of criticism and public backlash over the decision to discontinue that private criminal charge that was filed by Police Constable Shaunath Bullers against attorney Narvan Singh, the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions today sought to explain its decision. Bullers had filed a charge under the Racial Hostility Act against Singh, who is the son of retired Chancellor Karl Singh. The police constable alleged that Singh made a number of racist remarks towards her while she was on duty at his father's residence. Today, the DPP explained that a file from the police was sent to the DPP's office for advice on the 11th of April, and it was returned on the 24th of April. The DPP said under the Racial Hostility Act, a person shall be guilty of an offense if he willfully excites or attempts to excite hostility or ill will against any section of the public or against any person on the grounds of their or his race, by means of words spoken by him in a public place or spoken by him and transmitted for general reception by wireless telegraphy or telegraphs, or by causing words spoken by him or by some other person to be reproduced in a public place form for a record, or by means of written, including printed matter or pictorial matter, published by him. The DPP said the evidence is not consistent with the offense-creating section of the Act, as the words allegedly used by the suspect were not spoken in order to excite others to act with hostility or ill will against the complainant. The DPP also said that with respect to the allegation by the complainant of being spat on by the suspect, there is inconsistency regarding the allegation, since based on the statement in the police diary of the incident, Constable Bullers complained of the attorney speaking in her face and spitting up while doing so. The DPP said based on the evidence recorded in the police diary by the constable, it is clear that the attorney was spitting up while speaking, and it was not a deliberate act of spitting. The DPP's office offered no other details behind its decision to discontinue the private charge. Woman Constable Bullers was joined by several other persons today in another protest outside the office of the DPP. The constable said she believes the DPP's decision has stripped her of her right to justice and for her case to be heard. The constable's attorney has already indicated that they intend to move to the High Court to challenge the decision of the DPP. Attorney Husey Anderson said he's also prepared to take the matter all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
Both, I see face and hear voice, and you don't know, say, a skeng they are representing botheration. The mega concert in that Guyana, May 27. Make sure no outside, because you're to them outside. No.
With the approval of each new oil production project offshore, more jobs and opportunities are created onshore. And not just for those working in the oil and gas sector, more Guyanese are providing support services in transportation, catering, logistics, accommodation and hospitality, among many others. Oil and gas development is fueling Guyana's transformation.
Yo, Atlanta is a big bad city vice pushing out the GT. Don't forget the 29th we got in Bliss launch. Yeah, Atlanta we said city vice mushy live, you know, so we're gonna do some covers like bye. Must get that thing, must get that thing. How we out at GT. All of the guys them a wine and shake them. Guyanese woman them a #1. Yo, flashback we said. Bliss launch 29th of May. Atlanta, Stitching Vice Machine Life. Keep my name out your mouth.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100, dollar. Come get your Buster, Buster $100, dollar.
Vice President Barbara Jagdeo today called on regional governments to break retail monopolies on agriculture goods in their individual countries. Mr. Jagdeo noted that food prices remain relatively high because of the lack of competition in the sale and provision of particular agriculture goods across the region. He was at the time addressing a group of investors, academics, and other stakeholders at the Regional Agriculture Investment Forum, which was held at the Otterchunk Convention Center.
In many of our countries, retail trade is dominated by monopolies across the Caribbean, by a single large group that has had either strong political influence or by the sheer presence in many of our territories and the period that they've been there. They've dominated retail trade. And it's hard for new people to break into the retail trade and therefore bring down costs.
Mr. Jagdeo said companies that usually have friends in the government are to be blamed for the regulations and ultimately the limitations placed on the importation of goods from sister CARICOM states.
To open up trade, we have to almost break that monopoly. And it's not going to happen easily. And many of them are the ones who lobby for, and they have deep connections within governments and within the regulatory agencies, and they almost push the introduction of the restrictive phytosanitary standards in many of these countries as a form of a protectionist tool.
He said the situation is particularly a challenge for many Guyanese producers who have faced challenges in the past trying to enter and operate in other markets.
So someone needs to break that up. We have had that issue when we try to get some of our exports out, and we know where it's coming from directly. It is not necessarily the governments, but a direct control from the private sector pushing those agencies, the standard agencies in their countries.
Jagdeo called on regional governments present at the Agri-Investment Forum and Expo to return to their individual countries and make the necessary changes needed to facilitate a better regional agriculture ecosystem.
And so we now, as we leave here, we have to leave with a firm commitment from the delegations that are here, because much of this action would have to take place not at the regional level, but within individual jurisdictions.
The Vice President said conversations about agriculture development in the region have been taking place for over 17 years, and the key influential documents like the Jagdeo Initiative are still very relative and relevant in today's discussions. The government of Guyana today signed 2 documents of cooperation with the Food and Agriculture Organization. The agreements address the country program framework for Guyana 2022 to 2026 and Guyana's hosting of the 38th session of the Regional Conference for Latin America and the Caribbean in 2024. The agreements were signed on the heels of the inaugural Agriculture Investment Forum. The first agreement was signed by the Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, and the second agreement was signed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd. The Assistant Director General of the FAO, Dr. Julio Berdu, signed on behalf of his organization. The country program agreement looks at transformation to a more agricultural food system, resilient value chains, agricultural food intakes, enhanced disaster framework capacity, along with increased use of digitalization and ICT to enhance efficiency and connectivity in agriculture, as well as the de-risking of the agriculture food system. Speaking at the signing, the Minister of Agriculture said Guyana is pleased to be entering into the new agreements with the FAO.
Today is very important that we have renewed the country program agreement between the FAO and Guyana, and this document reflects our priorities in certain areas. The areas were just revealed by Ambassador Harper.
Minister Mustafa also noted that the country stands to benefit tremendously from the expertise that will be shared under the program.
Those areas of cooperation and collaboration. Over the years, the FAO has played a very, very important role helping government in various areas. And I want to, first of all, I want to thank the FAO. I want to thank the regional director, for a fact that he has been behind a lot of those assistance that have been coming to Guyana, and also the country representative, Dr. Gillian Smith.
In relation to the second agreement, Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd said Guyana is proud to be providing leadership in the region's agriculture drive.
Because it feeds directly into our development trajectory, which has agriculture as the central pillar for driving this economy. And you would have heard His Excellency the President mention over and over again that we are about diversification. We are at a very good position in terms of our resource base with the oil and gas revenues to really make massive gains in terms of our diversification process. And we have to do that by being fully integrated within the global economy.
The Assistant Director General of the FAO said the agreements reflect his organization's commitment to the country and its objectives in agriculture.
The decision to be here signing these documents reflects, on the one hand, the document signed with the Minister of Agriculture, the commitment to support the priorities of the government of Guyana in the coming years.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is a specialized agency that leads international efforts to defeat hunger and improve nutrition and food security. Mobile Money Guyana and the Demerara Harbor Bridge Corporation joined forces today as they launched Guyana's first ever automated bridge tolling system at the Demerara Harbor Bridge. Thousands of commuters who travel between regions 3 and 4 daily will now be served with an automated system, which will be more convenient and faster. General Manager of Mobile Money Guyana, Babita Ram, expressed her company's pride in being part of a historic event and development sector by providing the technological solution to not just tolling, but one that will help decrease traffic congestion on both sides of the bridge.
It is indeed an honor for me and the MMG team to play a role in presenting what is a most convenient way to use a tolling system and enabling payments through our innovative and convenient channels. This world-class, and I do tell you it is world-class, for those of you who've traveled, who've experienced Easy Pass in New York, Sun Pass in Florida, you'll realize, and as you've used this, you'll realize it is a world-class system. Will allow for shorter waiting times at the bridge for commuters.
The official acknowledged the Ministry of Public Works and the General Manager and staff at the Demerara Harbor Bridge for their work and collaboration on the project. The MMG official also said the new system is simple and commuters should take advantage of it.
We encourage all commuters to register for the RFID tag, which is placed on the vehicle's windscreen. Use MMG from whether it's your own MMG account or one of our agent locations to put money on your Demerara Harbor Bridge account, and then you just breeze through. Basically, it's a matter of seconds, and I think the last time we timed it, it was 3 seconds to read the ID and out through the toll booth.
Minister of Works Bishop Juan Agil, who welcomed the initiative, spoke extensively about other initiatives that his ministry has employed to address the concerns of commuters.
I'm happy to join this occasion to publicly launch this new initiative which is aimed at doing three things. Number one, making commute across the bridge easier. Number two, improving financial accountability. And number three, bringing us into modernization, where people don't always have to be searching their pockets and bags for money to pay.
Minister Edgell said the new Demerara Bridge, when completed, will also utilize a similar system as the country moves ahead with its development.
Well, let's get Guyanese used to this technology. Let's get Guyanese used to this way of doing business. A new Demerara Harbor Bridge will be in place before the end of 2025. The contract will be signed shortly and construction will begin thereafter.
Aside from the introduction of the new and improved tolling system, Edgell said other initiatives are being employed to ease the congestion at the bridge.
In collaboration with the Guyana Police Force, we have been able to, in real time, judge the congestion and the buildup of traffic on both the east side and on the west side, and have been able to take prompt initiatives, or prompt action, I should say, to release that congestion and to allow for continuous flow. People are no longer waiting for hours to cross the Demerara Harbor Bridge in the mornings and in the afternoons.
The new cashless tolling system can now be accessed by all drivers who traverse the bridge regularly. With thousands of vacancies existing for its various cruise ships around the world, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, through its recruitment company Castaway Hiring, has moved into the Guyana market and has already hired hundreds of young Guyanese on the spot for various cruise jobs. Over the past 4 days, the recruitment team held interview and hiring sessions in Berbice, Linden, and Georgetown. Over 350 persons were hired from Berbice and Linden alone. Today, more than 1,000 persons flocked the Marriott Hotel for the recruitment drive, and more than half of those filing applications were expected to be hired. The Director of Global Operations and Recruitment at Castaway, Fabiana Estrella, said there is no limit on the number of persons the company could hire from Guyana, since there are thousands of vacancies. She expressed satisfaction with the response in Guyana.
So we don't have a number, which is a good thing. Basically, whoever comes in and we see they are qualified for the positions available right now, which is almost every position on a ship except for the captain, we're probably able to help and place them in a position within the next few weeks. So we don't have a maximum capacity, but it's been very humbling and overwhelming to see so many Guyanese people very interested in that industry.
The available jobs cover from housekeeping to accounts, maintenance, and entertainment, and other positions. The official from Castaway noted that while Guyanese may be leaving their homeland to take up the jobs on the ships, their earnings will return to the homeland and the Guyana market.
So we're very happy, very busy, and we look forward to speaking to everyone and being able to assist and secure that they can find employment. I know that it's a big drive from the government to assist Guyanese people be employed, and by them being employed on the ships, they also bring a lot back to the country, right? Because they bring US dollars, they send money home to their families. So we really look forward working with them and helping them help Guyanese people.
It was noted that the company was surprised with the response based on prior recruitment drives, but welcomes all applications. It was explained that some resumes will be collected for more detailed assessment and job placements, while some positions will be filled on the spot. The Castaway company now has Guyana hiring representatives and intends to continue its recruitment drive across the country at different times during the year. The Alliance for Change, which is part of the APNU-AFC opposition, today signaled its intention to support the proposal by Opposition Commissioner and the Guyana Elections Commission Vincent Alexander to include a biometrics method of verification at polling places for election. In an earlier statement, Commissioner Alexander said while there are currently no moves to sanitize the bloated list of electors, he suggested a mechanism to prevent duplicate voting and other forms of illegal voting. He suggested a biometric voting system where the fingerprint of voters will be checked and verified before voting. In a statement today, the AFC said it feels the biometric system can help bring legitimacy to the system. According to the AFC, using biometrics such as fingerprint and retina identification at a polling booth will deter culprits who have a penchant for corrupting the system through illegal activities, adding that technology for the purpose will help minimize the suspicions and reality of impersonation and will further enhance confidence in the electoral system. The AFC said having been through the experience of the national recount and seeing the recent IRI poll of Guyanese who believe that the last elections were not above board, it strongly believes that the use of biometrics in future elections would be a prudent move that would add to the democracy. The party encourages the government to act with haste with the discussion and necessary legislative arrangements for implementation. The AFC has also described as political gimmickry some of the government-proposed amendments to the election laws.
Yo, Atlanta is a big bad city vice pushing out the GT. Don't forget the 29th we got in Bliss launch. Yeah, Atlanta we say city vice mushy live, you know, so we're gonna do some covers like bye. Must get a thing, must get a thing. How we out a GT. All of the guys them a wine and shake the Guyanese woman them a number one. Yo, flashback we say Bliss launch 29th May. Atlanta city vice mushy live. Keep my name out your mouth.
Have you heard the news? The CPL is back.
Yes!
The finals coming to Guyana.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
See you there.
Tell it to your enemy and tell it to your friend. Watch Guyanese girl, them a hurtle, and them a do it in a circle. Watch me, missing each and every year. Flashback come again. Tell it to your enemy and tell it to your friend. Well, if you're ready for the party, yeah then. Flashback, tell them a the trend. Follow me sing. This are not talking about a fly nor no bees. No girl can whine like Guyanese. Watch the young them a do it in a circle. Guyanese girls them a dance in a circle. Hear me and say no, me go banter. You know I some boy killer represent the Golden Smile family. You know say flashback to a school party. You know say oh the vibes is plenty. Slow down.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, $100. Come get your Buster, $100. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, in Jamaica, the Prime Minister there, Andrew Holness, says the government of Jamaica plans to reinstitute the mask-wearing mandate as it seeks to fight against the spread of COVID-19. Jamaica is currently experiencing a fifth wave of the virus. The Prime Minister noted that one of the issues affecting the spread of COVID-19 in Jamaica is a general lack of regard for personal space among the population. He did not indicate how soon the mandate will come into effect. The Prime Minister urged Jamaicans to get vaccinated as a means of protecting themselves against COVID-19. His declaration comes a day after the Ministry of Education mandated the wearing of masks in schools, effective immediately in response to the latest rise in the coronavirus infection rate in Jamaica. Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega said his government was not interested in attending the U.S.-hosted Summit of the Americas next month, which some leaders have criticized for reports that it may exclude the Central American country along with Cuba and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government. Nicaragua was previously informed that it would be excluded from the summit, which will take place in Los Angeles, according to a person in Washington familiar with the matter. But Mr. Ortega said his government has no interest in attending this summit. Ortega won a fourth consecutive term in November after jailing rivals and cracking down on critical media, triggering international criticism. He has frequently accused the United States of being interventionist and trying to undermine his government. And finally tonight, international news. The BBC reports that cases of monkeypox are being investigated in several European countries, as well as the US, Canada, and Australia, according to health authorities and local media reports. The new cases were reported in Belgium, France, Australia, and Germany. This follows infections confirmed in Italy, Sweden, Spain, Portugal, the US, Canada, and the UK, where the first European case was reported. Monkeypox is most common in remote parts of Central and West Africa. Instances of the disease outside of the region are often linked to travel to the area. Monkeypox is a rare viral infection which is usually mild and from which most people recover in a few weeks, according to the UK's National Health Service. The virus does not spread easily between people, and the risk to the wider public is said to be very low. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I'm Gordon Mosley, thanking you for your company and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable weekend.